I'm talking with Anthony Kearns. That name should be familiar to most of you if you have a good memory, going back 20 years or so to the Irish Tenors. And Mr. Kearns, I think that's a good place to start because that's when, at least in this country, we first were aware of you and your two compatriots.
That's correct. Yes, in 1998 we kind of launched on the scene in the United States after a show we recorded in Dublin. It's actually 99 technically. We would have done our first tour of the United States, but our show was recorded in Dublin in 1998. So in fact, it's a good place to start because we celebrated our 20th anniversary in January of this year in Dublin with a little tour.
Well, it's not hard to satisfy an audience with some of those great Irish songs, and I have to say right here at the top that one cannot be an Irish tenor without the shadow of John McCormick in the background, can he?
Absolutely. He's like the daddy of the Irish tenor. I mean, in fairness, he blazed the trail way back when, long before the music we know today is popular, pop music and country music and all that. John McCormick was holding his own he was the superstar of the day. He was the father of the Irish tenor, and many have followed it after him. Joseph Locke, and people would remember in particular Frank Patterson. Then the Irish tenors came on the scene. So the Irish tenors came on the scene at the time everything Irish was powerful, like Riverdance had just launched onto the scene, and we were kind of like the vocal wing. Then the Irish tenors came on the scene. The three tenors, Pavarotti, Domingo Carreras, were in full flight as well with PBS, and it just was an avalanche of music.
Well, it's something to be said for you and your compatriots that you're keeping this great traditional folk-inspired music alive. I think it is universal, even though it may be from the Emerald Isle.
That is so true. And, if people who have been familiar with the Clancy brothers and Tommy Maker, the only thing that did different was, well, initially we were dressed in tails. That kind of disappeared now with suits, but we were dressed in tails. We were in front of a full orchestra with rich, beautiful arrangements.
You have offered up some Broadway and American popular song in your concerts, and it's wonderful that tradition continues also. Do you find those songs work very well with your voice?
Absolutely. I mean, they're beautiful music. They're very tuneful, and they are perfect, I think, for the voice. They're no different to the Irish ballad, in my opinion, in the likes of Thomas Moore or Percy French. They're beautiful songs that last the test of time, and that's the key to it. They're great songs that people will never tire of. They're hard to categorize, I suppose, but the songs like Beautiful Dreamer, it's a gorgeous piece of music. It stands up there with any good Irish song that we can offer. And I like to feature those kind of songs, along with songs like from the older musicals, shall we say. I'm not a musical aficionado, but there are songs, I take select songs like Glockamora from Phineas's Rainbow, let's say. They're fun tunes. Or I will do a version of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. That's the kind of tunes that I like to hear myself. Songs that I would have heard in movies as a kid growing up, soundtracks and songs performed in movies that would have inspired me or would have struck a chord with me, and I've always kept them in my heart. That's the bottom line. It's music. I have to like it myself in order to get it across to the public.